Welcome and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, you know where you are. So today's video is going to be totally different, as you can tell by the title. So today I will be doing my MS story. So I would say it started in August, I would say mid-August of 2012. Let me see. I want this to go. Give me a second, guys. I gotta think here. It's been a while. So I would say it started off with just a regular migraine. I'm usually used to migraines, no biggie. For me, I seemed or assumed that something normal. I don't want to say normal, but for me, it was a norm. So I was having a migraine, the usual, and I would say it lasted probably about 2 to 3 days. Usually I could work with that, no biggie. And I was coping with it, going about my daily life and doing the usual. And I keep watering. I put mascara on, so it's like in the corner. So I was going about my daily routine, and at the time I had a tongue piercing, and with this headache, it was just like I said, I had it for like 2 to 3 days, but over time it kept getting I guess I would want to say stronger, but now that I found out that it was MS, actually it was just actually an MS symptom starting to flare up. So usually when I have like a headache or a migraine, I keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on symptoms. Even before I was diagnosed, I just kind of keep an eye on it. So if ever asked, or if ever I had to go to the emergency room, I can let someone know what was going on. So at this time I had a tongue piercing, and I believe, I can't remember, but I think my sister-in-law was still staying with us at the time. And I kind of thought it was just from the migraine, but I believe it was the left side of my body. So from, I would say, the tip of my head to my left toe, everything was like completely, I don't want to say completely numb, because I was still able to move and function. It was just, I would say, more of weak or like really tingly, like if you were to like sleep on your leg or your arm and you get those tinglies, and that's how I was feeling. But it started to progress as days went on. So for me, I just kind of like blew it off, like, okay, you know what, this is, I don't want to say normal, but I kind of just rolled with it. So I'm the type to where I have a high pain tolerance, so it really didn't bother me like that until I would say I was doing the dishes maybe like 3 to 4 days in, and like the dish, like just a regular dinner plate, like it felt like it was like like literally like 10 pounds by itself. So just imagine like washing dishes and you're like, okay, hold on, what's going on? Like, I don't think plates are normally supposed to feel this heavy. So I was like, okay, just blew it off again. And I continued to go on to make dinner, grocery shop, do the normal, the usual. And like I said, the plate was really heavy, but I went on to, grocery shop, do whatever else, I would do in my normal life. And the gallon of milk was like, it felt like it was like 40 pounds. I was like, okay, something still is not feeling right. But the person that I am was like, okay, blow it off. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear you complain about nothing. So get it together, keep going. So I was like, okay, I got this. And I was in my bathroom doing something, and as I was coming out, like my tongue, and then like even like my nose. And like I said, it was just feeling tingly, like weird. And so I called my husband and my sister-in-law. I was like, look, like, just this whole side of my body is just like feeling like really tingly and weird. And at the same time, I still had this migraine like going on. Now, with my migraines, my head does hurt, like there is pain with it. But for me, it's more of like annoying throb. Like for a migraine for me, like I said, I have very high pain tolerance. So for me, a migraine for me is probably about a level 12 to 15 for the next person with the migraine. So I deal with migraines pretty good until it reaches its point. Like I could probably go like 3 to 4 full days with a migraine and not really complain about the pain, or until it gets like super severe. So by the time it's like super severe, it's probably like that the end of the 4th day of that 5th day. So usually I don't complain, but I was telling my husband, I was like, look, like this side of my body's tingly, it's kind of numb feeling. I still got this migraine. Now I did let him know that I had a migraine headache. But, like I said, that was like a couple of days prior to like the tingling as well. So he was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and make an appointment, see your doctor. So at the time, I was just doing my regular checkups, regular physicals, and fast forward a little bit. I went to my primary care doctor at the time. She was super amazing, but she retired on me. And we were going over some at the time, I think probably my asthma treatments, or like talking about some asthma situations, and just going over breathing stuff at the time. But then she was like, how's everything else? And luckily I said something, because I really wasn't gonna say anything, because like I said, for me, migraines are typical usual for me. And I'm gonna kind of rewind a little bit. So for me, I've had seizures from the age of 1 to the age of 11. So that 11-year gap, I've had seizures. So, and I would say 11 and 12, that's where, like full-blown migraines start to come on. So at this time I'm talking to her, I'm already like, mid-20s, so I'm like, oh, migraine, that ain't nothing, So I was telling myself like, don't really worry her about it. But I was like, you know what, this is just kind of different, as far as like the tingly and the different sensation. And that was the only reason why I really brought up the migraine. So she was doing, her normal physical things that she do, check the knees and, check your chest, the little, I forget what it's called, but the little thing they put in the ear and check listen to your heart and your back. And she was like, is there anything else that, that's going on, or, how's everything going? I was like, well, I've had this migraine for like 4 to 5 days, but that's the norm. That's usual, no biggie. So, but I did tell her, I was like, I do have some tinkling, like it's a numbing feeling, like pins and needles, just only on the left side of my body, from like head to toe. And that side felt a little weaker, as far as lifting things, or other things felt just a little bit heavier. Excuse me for a second, guys. So she was like, okay. And luckily, like I said, she was a great doctor. She was like, okay, so how long have you had the migraine? I was like, 4 to 5 days, no big. She was like, any pain, any head pain? I was like, for a migraine, not really, but as far as like the tingling and the weakness on that left side. She was like, okay. She was like, well, what I'll do, I'll send you to a neurologist. She was like, have you ever been to one of those? It's like, oh yeah, no big. I've been to neurologists before too. So, because that goes hand in hand with seizures. So I was like, cool. And she was like, I'll send you to a neurologist, and most likely she'll want to give you a MRI. I was like, okay, cool. I've had those before, but she was like, she can let you know what to do from there. So I was like, okay. So fast forward. Excuse me. Fast forward, I make an appointment for the neurologist, and we go over a few things. And at the time, my husband goes with me every appointment. Thank God for my husband. Super big shout out to my husband. So we get to the appointment, and just like, what are you here for? It's like, I've had this migraine for like 4 to 5 days. I let my doctor know. So, and I was having some tingling on this side of, my body, a little weakness. And she sent me to you. She was like, oh, okay. She was like, have you had a MRI done before? I was like, yeah, sure. She was like, okay, I'll send you in for one of those, and then we will go from there. But she was like, until you get that done, she said, have you I can't fully remember, but I think she asked about family history of different other things. She probably could have mentioned MS or a few other things down the line, the usual like cancers, diabetes, stuff like that. Some of the answers were yes and no, and so forth, and the typical yes and no questions. So fast forward a little bit more. We do the MRI, and at this time I am back for the results. So I'm sitting on the little bed where the patient sat at, and my husband is sitting over in the chair next to me. And most doctors, usually they'll kind of break down on what's going on, or they'll actually tell you what was on the scan, or they'll tell you what they've seen. But with her, she already had it up on the screen, and she had all the results and everything there already to go. So she flips the screen around. So my husband jumps up. He was like, is that brain cancer? So she's like, no, whoa, calm down. Wait a minute. No. So she was like, no, it's not brain cancer. She was like, have you ever heard of MS? It's like, something. I was like, nah, not really. No, I don't think so. I was like, well, I have. She was like, no. He was like, oh, it's what Richard Pryor had, or and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it was like nothing, but at the time it wasn't really clicking, because I didn't really look really look into it like that. Kind of, it didn't really click at the time. So she was like, well, she was kind of breaking down and explaining how some people get it, or she was just, I just can't remember most of what she was saying at the time, but yeah, I just can't remember. But she was like, yeah, they're not brain tumors. They're what it is. It's brain scarring. And so when I was talking to her in the previous visit, I was telling her that I've had seizures from 1 to 11. So for me, MRIs and brain stuff and, other stuff that was going on with those type of scans and visits wasn't nothing new to me. So I was like, okay. So as she was kind of breaking down what scar tissue was, she was like, well, when people have, migraines or I think she was like smoking and a few other things, or like prolonged infections that don't really get taken care of. So the way she broke it down, like if you have an ear infection, and some people, instead of going to the doctor or emergency room to get medication for it, some people, they kind of like, oh, it'll wear off, and it's still there. Oh, it'll wear off, and this infection, what it does, it slowly wears off. But what it does, instead of the infection actually wearing off, this ear infection, what it does, it I don't want to say it leaves a brain infection, but what it does, it kind of starts to eat away. I don't want to say eat away, but kind of leave those lesions on the brain. So like ear infections, throat infections, sinus infections, those are kind of more the head type of system area. So when a lot of people are like, oh, I have a toothache, or I have an earache, and it's going on for 3 to 4 weeks, and it was like, oh, I'll be okay. So by them not taking that antibiotics or actually getting that medication, what it does, it creates the scarring on the brain. So that's the way she broke it down to me, or that's what I got from that. I don't know if that's completely 100% true, but like I said, that's from my remembrance. And so when she was talking about it, she was like, no, they're called MS lesions. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just assumed that they were from me having those seizures for 11 years. Like, okay, by me having the seizures, that's probably what brought on the scar tissue. So I was like, okay, no biggie. But she was like, what we can do is, she said, I can't really fully confirm, it being MS. I will have to do some more tests. I was like, oh, okay, what else do you need to do? She was like, we can do some blood lab, or we could just go straight into doing a lumbar puncture, a spinal tap. And she was like, have you ever had one of those? I was like, oh yeah, sure, had one of those at 2 years old. So, I'm like, this whole time, like, I'm good, I don't know if I was good, but this is from what I remember. I don't know how my husband remembers it, but I remember, that's how I remember it. And she was like, well, we can do some blood labs, and then, or we can just go into straight to do the lumbar puncture. I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and do the lumbar puncture. But obviously, they still have to do blood work and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool, and let's rule this out. But at the same time, like, it still was not registering to me what these scars and MS meant, or this whole like, oh yeah, I'm good, I'm cool. Like, it's just something that goes along with having migraines or headaches. Like, oh, everybody has it. If they get a migraine, everybody has it. So she's like, okay, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and set you up and an appointment to do the lumbar puncture. Okay, cool, no biggie. And so fast forward, I went home and waited for the nurse to call me for the lumbar puncture. And she called me and she was like, well, we can set you up for this appointment for this day, and when you come in, bring a driver, because what they do, they pull off the fluid, and you can you get, for some people, they get like really bad back pain or headaches, so make sure you have a driver. So at the time, my husband was at work, so a friend of ours actually drove. So we got there, to the clinic and went in, and fast forward, I did the lumbar puncture, and I don't remember how it was at the age of 2, but she did okay. It kind of stung a little bit. She did okay, but like I said, I do have a high pain tolerance. So to be honest, like, my pain tolerance is on like a whole nother level. Like, someone that their pain tolerance is probably like maybe like a level 10 or 11, to where they're like excruciating pain, or they feel like they're dying, they need to go to the emergency room. Like, I don't really hit that peak of excruciating pain until it's like on a level, I want to say like 13 or 14. It's just like I'm just able to hold pain like that good. Like, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just the nerve thing. But anywho, fast forward, she did the lumbar puncture. Like I said, a friend of ours, she drove home. We went home. So that night, I did have a little bit of back pain. Now that pain that did kick in to where I was like, ooh, Lord Jesus, let me just lay down for a couple of days. So let's just say my back was hurting for like 2 days, and I did feel the headache along with that. So once again, fast forward, so I get the call, and I'm trying to think, I don't want to miss anything from the lumbar puncture to the call. So I'm trying to remember if there's anything like in between there. Okay, I can't remember. So like I said, fast forward, we're at home, and the nurse called. She was like, this day at this time, between these hours, keep your line open, wait for a call from your doctor. So I'm like, I'm cool. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm, on the computer doing whatever, and then my husband is like in the chair beside me. He's on his phone doing whatever. So on the computer, and I get this call from my doctor, and at this time it's like September, and I put the phone on on speaker. So she's like, oh, is this such and such? Like, yeah. She's like, oh, this is Dr. such and such and such. She's like, I got your test results. It is positive for multiple sclerosis. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, whenever you get time, go ahead and make an appointment to set up to start treatment. I was like, okay, wait, hold on. Treatment? It's like, okay. It's like, all right. So it's like, okay. So, but I don't really remember what the conversation was after that, when she said it was positive for MS. So I was like, yeah. So yeah, you guys gotta forgive me. I don't remember that conversation. So fast forward, I go into another appointment with the neurologist, and so she confirms it, and she was like, well, when we do a lumbar puncture, what the lumbar puncture does, when we're checking for certain things, there is like certain levels of spinal fluid that they're looking for multiple sclerosis. And with that, she gave a level. So from like between this and this, it's positive. For between this and this, it's negative. So she was like, it is positive for this and that. I was like, okay. And she was like, you can start this medication. I was like, oh, okay. Well, and I was like, and I can't remember. I think I asked her, why I need to start medication. Most likely she told me she broke it down, but like I cannot remember that conversation, because when you hear stuff like that, everything is like fully fast forward. It's like blah, 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 a bunch of gibberish, and your brain kind of just goes blank, and the person that's with you, or your spouse or whoever, they're probably listening to it as well, but at the same time they're probably not fully understanding or listening to it neither, so they're probably hearing a whole bunch of gibberish as well too. So I can't remember, but she was like, okay, I'm gonna put you on this. I'm gonna put the send it over to the pharmacy. You can pick it up here and there. She asked if there was a Walgreens close to the house or this and that. I was like, yeah. And that's basically where she left it off at, or like I said, what I can remember. So fast forward, a nurse called me and she said that we will have a home nurse come out, and what they'll do is they'll show you how to do the injections. And I still can't remember that conversation, because like when you try to process all this stuff, it's like yeah, but everything was just jumbled at the time. And so I'm like, okay. So the nurse was like, before the nurse comes out, you need to have your medication ready, and for it ready to go. And she said, whenever, this is how I remember it when I was on the phone, this is how I remember it. So she was like, when you have the medication, go ahead and give us a call, and someone will, the nurse will come out and show you how to do it, so forth. And Walgreens called, they said your medication is ready. So I went and I picked up the medication. So when I picked up the medication was in a regular syringe, and it was just like a little what is it? Well, like those so like one of those syringe boxes, how like if you're allergic to something and you have an EpiPen, but it was kind of like in one of those boxes, and it was just like a regular syringe. Now with the syringe was like all the way full, like let's just say all the way full, maybe like this much medication, right? Like this is how I'm remembering it, guys. So I get the medication, and Walgreens was like, just keep it refrigerated. I was like, okay, cool. So when I get the medication, I call the nurse. I was like, look, I have my medication. Whenever there's a good time, you guys can send the nurse out and, do whatever. She's like, so the nurse I'm talking to at the time is a guy. And I was like, so I have my medication, and whenever. And the guy was like, oh, you have your medication? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, you could just give it to yourself. He was like, if you're not scared or anything, most people, they just give it by themselves, or they have a loved one or a spouse or somebody, they just help them inject it on their own. So the way he broke it down to me was like, go ahead and take the medication. So he didn't, because when I asked him, I was like, well, they were telling me that there was a nurse supposed to come out to help me to go over to how to help me do it. And he was like, yeah, if you have the medication already, go ahead and take it. I was like, okay, cool. So inside the case was like I said, the syringe. It had like a little cotton swab, like a Band-Aid, and then like a little alcohol wipe. So I was like, okay. And I opened the container, and I'm reading the instructions, and I'm reading like the sites where you can put your the injection. So you do the arm, so forth and so forth. So I went to the bathroom and, I'm in the mirror. I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm not really, squeamish of needles or whatever. And I was going to do the right arm. And my husband was like, oh, you need some help? I was like, yeah, why not? You could do it. So, we wiped the we wiped the area. We did it how we were supposed to do it. And we did like the whole syringe. So, we did it. We, put the little cotton pad on there, to stop the blood. He put the Band-Aid on. We're like, cool, good to go. So at this time, we were already getting ready to go over to our friend's house, the one that took me to do the lumbar puncture. And they literally stayed right at the light, like down the street. So we're getting dressed and, we go over. So we go over there and my husband and my friend's husband, they like left and went to the store. So like me, the kids, my friend and her kids, and we're just like chilling, talking or whatever. And like, I would say within like 8 minutes that I was over there, like my whole body just like boom, like it did like a total 360. Like my skull felt like it was cracking. Like literally like an eggshell. Like if you were to like push on it, like it would just shatter. Like I got like cold chills, like how you get like the flu-like symptoms, like you get the chills, like literally I asked her for a blanket. Like she gave me a blanket. She was like, what you need a blanket for, girl? I was like, I don't know. Like I just took my medication for the first time, and I think maybe it's like a side effect. So my head started hurting really bad. Like I said, like I was like super cold, like I was shaking, like. And then fast forward, my husband and the guys get back, and he was like, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you have a blanket? Like, like the temperature, I was like, it's like super cold. Like my head hurt. He was like, okay, let's go. So we went home, and fast forward, second and third day, like it was just no bueno, no good. Like I said, every bone in my body, like every joint. So like what I mean, like joints, like your elbow joint, your wrist joint, your kneecap, your hips, like everything felt like it was cracked. Like if you put pressure on it, like it was going to shatter. Like I still had like cold chills. I was in the bed with like sweaters on, like 3 to 4 socks on. Like it was just crazy. So fast forward, I get a call from the home nurse. She was like, oh, I'm such and such, I'm, can I come over this day to, so we could do your medication? I was like, oh, well, I already did my medication. She's like, oh, you did? She's like, how did it go? I was like, not good at all. Like the other nurses, he said, I can go ahead and do it. She was like, wait, whoa, like calm down. She was like, did you do all of it? I was like, yeah. Like she was like, oh no, you wasn't supposed to do all of it. She was like, well, with your medication, there is I guess it's called a syringe stopper or syringe. I don't know the term of it, but it's a clip that goes on to the syringe to where it only distributes a certain amount of the medication. So I was like, whoa. So at this time, like my brain was like on like super scared mode. I was like, okay, I took all of this medication, and the lady is telling me like, so this is like, say like this is the full syringe, right? And with this one syringe, this was supposed to last me like 3 days. So I took all of it. So the lady, she was like, yeah, there is a portion, there's a clip that goes on to the syringe to where it gives you certain day. I was like, well, I don't have that piece. And she was like, well, that's supposed to come with your medication, and sometimes it comes a different day to your pharmacy. And like for me, Walgreens called me like a week later for that little piece. So I was like, oh my God. So just imagine, like, yeah, it just, fast forward, it just wasn't working. It just did not work out for me. It was not good. No bueno, like, no, zero, like, no, it was not happening. So fast forward, I start to tell my family, my husband's side of the family, my side, like, look, okay, I have the mess, and they're like, oh, it's a mess. So by me having it, I'm trying to already, like, explain to them what it is. So, and we get to my aunt's house, well, my husband's aunt's house, and I think it's like a Thanksgiving time, and we're breaking it down, and my husband's like, you know what, let's do a second opinion. And like a light clicked on, like, oh wow, like, oh my God, like, I feel super stupid. Like, why didn't I think of that to begin with? Like, I done already took this medication. Like, it was like so bad for me. Like, the symptoms were like terrible. Like, oh my God, like, I feel stupid, like, on a times 10. So it was like, let's just do a second opinion. So I was like, oh my God, that's what those are for. So I called my neurologist. I'm like, look, I'm gonna do a second opinion, fast forward. So she's like, okay, go ahead, do a second opinion, and make an appointment to do a second opinion. And we do a second opinion. And I was like, look, we get to the appointment. I was like, look, they still have MS, there's this many lesions on the brain, this and this and that symptoms. This is why I went in for the MRI. I was like, okay, cool, we can, you're here for a second opinion, so there's other tests that we can do to rule that out. So with that, they do a test for sarcoidosis, they do a test for syphilis, they do a test for Lyme disease, they do a test for, I can't remember, but it was like it looks like 8 other tests they do for to rule out MS or other things that mimic MS. So like I said, they had to rule out like some type of arthritis thing, like I said, syphilis, sarcoidosis, Lyme disease, other things that kind of mimic that. So I went about my daily life, and at this time I didn't take any more of the medication, and that'll be on a different video, because the whole time that I've had MS, I've only taken 2 medications. I've only been on 2, but that'll be for a different video. But fast forward, they do these 8 tests, and I get the call, and everything is negative. So I have lemons in my water. So I get the call, and everything else is negative for those test results that they did. So it did come back positive for MS. So I was like, okay. Fast forward. So since it did come back positive for MS, the doctor that I went to go see for a second opinion, I asked her, I was like, hey, like, I know you're the doctor that I came for the second opinion, but is there a way that I could just start to come and see you? Because the last doctor, I felt that she kind of like rushed through everything. She didn't really, I can't remember, if she didn't rush through everything, like I said, everything was just coming just so fast, and I just didn't like, they went about it for, the medication. And when when it first happened, she was just like, boom, like, you have to take this medication. And when I went to see the second doctor, was like, look, I don't want to take that medication. It had a bad effect on me. Like, like, I can't just stick with you. She was like, yeah, cool. Like, first of all, we have different medications. You don't have to take that one. I'm here. We can work with. So I'm like, cool. It's like, thank God. So, I jumped off that medication and we tried different one. But like I said, that's for a different video. But, fast forward, yeah, so I stuck with her for, let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I stuck with her maybe about 3.5 years until we brought her home, and then I'm with the doctor I'm with now. And, but, I'm not going to go into full detail on everything because, like I said, this is my MS journey, and I do have other videos on other things I would like to explain to you guys and break down. But, like I said, that was my diagnosis. Like, some people, when they are diagnosed with MS, they get the blindness in one eye. It starts to, I don't say fully completely blindness, but they have eyesight issues. And for me, it was just totally different. It just led from a migraine that I thought it was something normal, because to me that was a normal, and from the migraine to the whole left side of my body just being tingly. And as the days went on with the tingling, it started to the pain started to kick in, because if you sleep on your leg long enough and it's tingling and you're like, oh, okay, let me shake it off, let me wake it up. But like, if you can't shake that off or wake it up, like, it starts to tingle more and tingle more and tingle more. And what that does, that tingling starts to turn into a pain feeling. And for me, like I said, I have a high tolerance for pain, but nerve pain is a different type of pain. Even though all of your pain stems from nerve pain, like if you cut your finger or if you burn your finger, like, that's a different type of nerve pain compared to an actual muscle pain or an actual eye pain or actual tremor pain. But yeah, but like I said, everyone's journey is different. And for me, like I said, I was diagnosed in September of 2012. And I want to say thank God that, knock on some wood, but the symptoms and the things that has come along with my MS has only most likely been just, the migraines, a little bit of eye problems to where I have to wear my glasses to pull the pressure back. I haven't had any I haven't had any like sight issues to where I'm starting to lose my vision. Thank God. I do get limb pain. Most people call it, maybe it feels like a blood clot pain, or their leg is like starting to swell, or they feel like their arm is starting to swell. For me, it feels more of like a tourniquet pressure. So like when you're starting to get your blood draw and they put that blue band or that rubber band around your arm to where they drop the blood, and when they put the rubber band there and it holds that pressure, and then they put the needle in it and they let it go. But for me, what the pressure feels like and what the pain feels like is like that rubber band is on there, and what it does, it feel like it's just pulling tighter and tighter and tighter. So with that pressure up here, what it does after a while, when it's there for a while and it starts to feel like it's just there for a little bit, everything below it starts to tingle, get numb, and then after 5 minutes of that, the pain starts to kick in to where it's like, okay, you need to release that pressure, or it's just, you're just gonna be in pain. And like I said, for me, those are the only symptoms that I've had to deal with the MS. Besides the legs giving out here and there, or the leg tremors. Like I said, that's for a different video. But I'm sorry if this video was too long, or if I was all over the place, but I was trying to remember the major details. But yeah, well, like I said, I do want to give a huge shout out to my husband, because we're not gonna do this. Because my support system, and most people don't have that, so I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to all of my support system, but for him, I'm like super grateful. But fast forward once again, I'm gonna not gonna hold you guys in the dark. Like I said, this is my MS journey. So this year, 2021, February 9th, I had another brain MRI, and so I had another brain MRI, and usually takes like 2 weeks to get back, to you. But with all of this COVID stuff and everything going on, they actually sent me an email, and there's a new lesion on the left side of the brain in the front. And for me, that makes 9 brain lesions, but I'm not even gonna say 9 because I've lost count now. So today is March 18th, and I have a virtual appointment with him to go over that last MRI on the 9th of February. So this is March 18th, 2001. And like I said, I do have an appointment with him today to go over that last MRI. And that'll be at 10:30 this morning. So, yeah. Before I go into a full blown on cry on here, I don't want to do that. But like I said, guys, I'm so sorry if I was like all over the place, out of line. If you guys didn't really catch everything, or if I was going too fast or didn't understand things, like if you guys want, just leave comments in the description box. Oh yeah, before I leave, March is MS Awareness Month. For those of us that have it, we know that. But the ones that don't, March is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month, and the color's orange. So every year I make ribbons to pass out to my co-workers. And I put like little pins on there so they can wear it on their shirt for the month. And this is the third year that I have been doing this. So this year I even made little laminated cards to say what multiple sclerosis is. So I do have friends and coworkers that I work with. They usually ask, "What is it?" So instead of me taking like 15 minutes to break it down, I just kind of pass those out. And basically, I like to advocate multiple sclerosis because I do have it. So if you feel that you feel your body's different, or you feel something is going on, like go get that appointment, and like don't let people tell you you're crazy, or there's nothing wrong with you, or stop being a hypochondriac. Like if one doctor says no, or a different doctor says, "Oh no, there's nothing wrong with you," like your body, like do what you need to do for you. um but yeah, like I said, I am an advocate for this. And yeah, I like to do last year I was going to do, me and my family were going to do an MS walk, but we got there too late, so we didn't make the walk. And this year COVID broke out, so I didn't do it this year. So next year I will be doing me and my family will be doing a MS walk. So but one thing that if you guys do have it, or if you just newly diagnosed with it, like just try to get a really good support system, because you need it. Like some people feel that, oh, I got this, it's me that have it, or a really good support system is important. And my husband told me after my last MRI, February, like I said, I got it by email. No one called me. So I told him, since there was a new lesion on there, it kind of, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And and I could tell for him that when I told him, it kind of rubbed him the wrong way as well. But he told me, like, he was like, "You know what? We got this." And he was like, he said, he told me, he said, "You know what? We need you. I need you." And he said that if you crumble, I crumble. So a switch kind of went on in my head. And obviously I'm a wife and mother of two, but some people that get news with MS, and you know, when they find new lesions, they don't do too good with news, with that news. For me, when I get that type of news, I usually kind of, oh, you know, I got this, you know. And I always tell myself, and you know, when we go into those conversations, I always say, you know what, we got this, you know, because there's something or someone, you know, that's always in a worse condition than I am, a worse situation than I am. You know, there's people with cancer, there's people with where their MS is a lot worse. There's people, you know, wheelchairs, you know, really disabled. And I always tell him, you know what, I always look on the brighter side, because like I said, it's always something that's worse. There's always somebody that's worse. And God only picks his strongest soldiers to fight his toughest battles, and or you know, to fight their toughest battles. And you know what, I was just cut from a different cloth, you know, I was just made different. And but what my husband told me, you know what, babe, if you crumble, I crumble. And that saying right there would probably stick with me for life, because I never really looked at it that way. Like most people rely on their spouses for different things, or you know, for you know, just for motivation, or just to, you know, pushing through for certain things. But like I said, for my husband, you know, I just definitely want to give the biggest shout out to you, babe. You've been here for the whole ride. So I'm definitely going to cut this video short now. I'm definitely going to cut it off. It's not, obviously the video is much longer than I want it to be, but like I said, I wanted to be upfront with you guys. And like I said, I will continue this journey in some other videos for you know, as far as medications and different symptoms, and you know, updates and stuff like that. And like I said, if I missed anything, or if there's something that you guys would like to know, if you guys would like more information on MS, or you know, where you guys can go, I'll leave a few things in the description box below. And if there's some questions or something that you guys would like for me to answer, or you guys think I can answer, go ahead and leave it in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you guys. And yeah, so yeah, like I said, today is the 18th, so I definitely want to get this video out before the month was up with. And like I said, it's been years since I've had MS, and like, this is really the only time that I have like really came out and really did this video. Like my last video, I kind of briefly, like barely just tapped on it like a little bit. But like I said, if you guys watch my channel, you guys are rocking with me. I appreciate all the love, all the subscribers, each and every one of you guys. And you know, if you guys don't want to, you know, aren't really here for the hair videos or the makeup videos, or you guys need like a little different video topic, and you just want to watch a MS video, come on back. I will be here. And without further ado, I have nothing else to say now. So I'm done. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, the time out of your life to listen to this video. I wasn't supposed to be crying on here. Well, technically, I didn't like fully cry, but you could get what I mean. So yeah, just kind of, you know, rock with you, girl. So without further ado, guys, thanks for coming back. And if you guys are a returning subscriber, go ahead and hit that like bell or the like button Turn on your notifications bell. Share, please, 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 please share this video with your family and friends. Please, please. I'm just trying to get the awareness out there. Please share it. And with that being said, guys, I'm out. To my next video. Bye.